The Kodiak here with another how-to video. If you're like me and you're tired of spending money on these things because of corrosion inside, now you can do what I did. There's simply two screws that usually go into this area here. First, you remove those screws, and usually it's not open like this. Second, you get a nice little blade with something solid, and then you just gently push down, working your way all the way around. Slowly, it'll start to separate where it's loose like this. Second, you're going to go ahead and push down this, and you're just simply going to slide out this part. With these two prongs are holding this little plate in. Now, mine is clean already because I've already soaked it in vinegar, which is one of the steps into getting this little piece nice and clean. I've always had this issue where I'm buying these kill switches every 6 months, and even although they are kind of cheap, a little bit will add up to a lot. But once you get to this part, there's going to be a little C clamp on here, or a lock washer, whatever you want to call it. All you got to do is push this down, which you can see it bringing this forward. Once you push that down, you can just remove it. There's a spring in here, and there's like a little, well, I will guess it's more of a washer than anything. And then from there, this will come out with another spring. Now, as I mentioned before, I already soaked this in a bit of vinegar for 24 hours. And it cleaned it up really well. It took off a lot of the oxidation, the corrosion. I mean, it's pretty much brand new now. But now, as a step that I'm going to do in order to prevent this from happening, is I went to my neighborhood Napa dealer and bought myself some dielectric grease, which will be great for maintaining contact while protecting the metal inside. Now, these are fairly cheap. This was the smallest they had, but I live in a small town, so we really don't have many options here unless you order it, and I'm not gonna wait a week or two to get it. Anyhow, get yourself a nice little Q-tip. Now, for the meantime, all you gotta do is just squeeze it on the, apply it on the top layer. Okay, now to put this back together, you put the little gray cylinder in, followed by the spring, which I'm not too concerned about corrosion, and you apply the portion that has the dielectric grease on the bottom, and then you put your lock in it. Next, what I'm going to do is add some to these points around the contacts. Now, you might be saying I'm adding too much, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm not going to worry about a shortage. Alright. Now that you coated everything with it, and that portion's done, next you get a little bit more dielectric grease, and you apply it to the bottom portion of the contact. It may or may not be necessary depending on your boat, but like one of my old sergeants used to say, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Once you have dielectric grease applied to this contact, which I'm going to go ahead and just apply around it just to kind of make a seal. And then from there, I'm going to line up these holes for the screws, which I should get my readers out because I can't see very well. And I do believe this is one. Now I'm going to line up the holes, and then from there I'm going to push this back down and slide this in between the contacts. Now I'm going to make sure my holes are lined up. And now I'm just simply going to place it back together. Okay. Alright, there's one. This thing wants to fight with me. No worries. Come on, you little bugger. So let's try it this way. There we go. A little bit of patience goes a long way. Alright. Okay, now for the testing portion of repairing this kill switch. You're going to want to get your voltmeter out. Go ahead and put it to ohms or continuity. If you don't have, if the ohms and continuity aren't together, then go ahead and just go straight to continuity. And go ahead and add the backlight here. Now you're going to want to go put your test instrument to each of the terminals in the back. Right now we're working on the M side of the terminal. Now right here it's reading 0 ohms, which means there's a circuit but there's no resistance. Let's go ahead and add the switch. It goes up to roughly about 3.5 mega ohms. Now we go ahead and remove it. Drops back down to 0. Okay, which means it's working. Now let's go ahead and go to the I portion of the kill switch. Now you've got resistance there, 2.7 mega ohms. Add this, 0 ohms, which means you got an open circuit there. Now you remove the lanyard and it goes back up. And now you have completed rebuilding your switch. This time with a bit more dielectric grease inside, which means it should last longer. Have I tested this theory out? No. I went ahead and ordered a pair of these kill switches just to keep on hand, and I figured, you know what, I'll serve this one to the team and I'll destroy it basically. But then I figured out how to take it apart, and well, now it's working again. It's a very simple procedure. Usually it takes about 24 hours, but the reason why I say 24 hours is because you got to soak it in vinegar. Afterwards, you can either run it through water and then dip it back in the vinegar to make sure you get all that water out of there, or you can just simply wipe it off. It depends on how bad it is. If the corrosion is really bad, you can get an old toothbrush and just lightly brush all that stuff off. It'll come right off. Hey folks, I'm back with the daggum kill switch for the boat that I just restored. Okay, there's that little bad boy right there. Got it in. Let me start the motor. test it. All right. And there you have it, easy fix. Well folks, I hope this helped you like it helped me. Now, I know what you guys are probably going to say, well, where's your red cap? Honestly, I had it, but I don't know where I put it. And even with the red cap, it's still not going to prevent moisture from working its way down in here. Because of course this entire black thing goes up. It moves with the lanyard. So it won't help any. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Give a thumbs up if you like. Leave a comment if you have any feedback or any other tips that you might want to share, or any possible how-tos that you might want to see. I'm pretty much the jack of all trades. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at the Kodiak Outdoors. Well folks, it was a pleasure to show you this nice cost-effective trick. Like I mentioned before, I hope it works out for you just like it worked out for me. We'll see you on the water.